This is Season 7 of the Team Roping Journal's podcast, The Score, the show that started it all in the whole podcasting game in team roping and rodeo. At 3 million downloads and counting, this is where team ropers talk, from our weekly short score episodes to the longer sit-down conversations that we get to have that dive deep into the personalities, producers, and horses that inspire the sport. This is where team ropers get their must-know information. Hey everyone, it's Chelsea Schaefer. Welcome back to The Score. Today's episode isn't a terribly long interview because we didn't have just a ton of time with Andrew Ward and Jake Long after they won the Cody Johnson roping. They won, and then they had to do all of the media interviews, and then they had to rush to a jet that was waiting to take Andrew to his circuit finals where he competed with Colin Von On. So anyway, this is a shorter episode of The Score, but it was a very exciting, very historic roping. If you missed the Cody Johnson roping, I hear it is still on Teton Ridge Plus. It was streamed there. It was amazing. It was something really fun to watch. The whole thing from the qualification rounds that happened on Tuesday to the final round on Saturday. Andrew Ward and Jake Long ended up with brand new Bilfic pickups and brand new Bloomer stock combo trailers. It was really something. The event was a lot like a concert. It had the old George Strait feel, and they also won $60,000 on top of it. So life-changing. It had been 14 years since Jake Long won a trailer at the George Strait back when he was roping with Coleman Proctor. And so he'll talk about that in this interview, what has changed in team roping and what has changed in his life since then. One thing is money. He said he's going to get to keep this rig where he ended up having to sell the truck really quickly back when he won the Strait. So I hope you enjoy this interview with the Cody Johnson champions, Andrew Ward and Jake Long. Before we get into this episode, I'm going to let you know it is brought to you by our partners at Gold Buckle Horse Sales. And I have a special guest helping me read the commercial. My daughter Elise is going to start joining me every now and then to help us record commercials. So if you listen and you hear the voice of a 7-year-old, that's my kid. Tell me about that short round, though. Like, what was going through your head? As everybody was breaking the barrier, there was barriers, legs. What were you thinking, or were you not thinking?
No, I listened to what we needed to be, and they said 8 something, and so then I'm trying to get out of the barrier. Obviously, don't want to break the barrier, but I don't want to miss it by a long ways because it's not a real long arena and the steers are running. And I thought I did a good job of just sending biscuit at the right time and made my job a lot easier when I got a good start.
Jake, how much maturity did you use on your heel shot?
I have, that has not been my forte over the years, but the older I get, I've worked on that a lot in the practice pen, truthfully. It sounds stupid to be a high-level heeler and be nervous that you have to go be 9 flat, but I'm wired so aggressive that I really have had to work on that. And truthfully, it doesn't bother me now. I kind of rib around a little bit, but I think the scariest part about it is you look like an idiot if you miss one. You have to be 9. If he had before 2 and I miss him, well, it's like, well, he's just trying to win. It's fine.
Did you know that steer when they ran?
I didn't know him. I didn't watch it. It's hard to watch a lot of these.
Yeah.
So I sat back there in the warm-up arena a lot, and then just walked up probably 5 or 6 to go and ran the cow. So I didn't know him.
You didn't know him either?
I don't know any of them. I could rope the same probably 10 or 12 steers in practice pen, and they're always new to me. I don't pay attention at all. I remember them after I run them usually, but kind of the same deal. Me and Clint were 10th call, and so I roped, and then I was kind of hustling around because I didn't know how long it'd take me to get around there. And so by the time I walked around, I think 4th call was in the box. And so it was kind of a weird, I didn't even know what was going on. I had no clue what, was winning or not winning. And then I didn't even realize, them last 2 or 3 teams before us had to be some kind of 8, I think, or long 7. So that's crazy.
That's crazy. And you remember, what year did you win the George Strait?
I won it in 2010. Yeah, it's been a minute.
Do you still have that trailer?
I have the trailer. I had to sell the truck pretty well immediately because I was pretty broke back then. So this rig is not going to leave my possession. So ever. So until it quits running, I guess. So.
On the side of the road somewhere.
Yeah.
No, Bill Fick will send you something else. He's pretty good about that.
That's right.
If it quits running on the side of the road, he sends you another pickup.
He's done it. He bailed me and Buds out one summer to make the finals, and he did it.
He's pretty good dude that way.
He's amazing. I love Bill.
Yeah.
Great to us.
This week's episode is brought to you by Gold Buckle Horse Sales.
Gold Buckle Horse Sale has come up with a process to take the guesswork out of finding the right horse and allowing both buyer and seller to find the perfect match with confidence. Each horse consigned through Gold Buckle Horse Sales is professionally photographed, videoed, and demoed by a professional Gold Buckle pro.
Visit www.goldbucklehorsesale.com.
Again, that is www.goldbucklehorsesale.com. Thanks, Elise. Did you get to go to the George Strait?
I did. I won third the last year they had it, and we've been saying it all day. We didn't think that there would ever be a roping for the open guys that gave a truck and trailer again. And then Cody come up with this, and we're so grateful to him. I mean, it takes a guy like Cody to put something like this on, and then he stepped up, and that's amazing.
Yeah. Roger was just Roger, but what was Roger scared of?
I don't know what got into him. So I was away from the house the other day, and my wife called me and said, "Was Roger sound when you came home?" I went to Coleman's and wrote for a few days, and I said, "Yeah, he was fine." And then she said, "Well, he's three-legged right now." And I'm like, "That's awesome, because the Cody Johnson's tomorrow." So I ran him over to the vet, and I talked to Charlie at Signature, and he's like, "Well, what do you want to do?" And I was like, "Well, the problem is the biggest roping of the year is tomorrow, so I need him to be sound." So he had some medical assistance in being sound, and I don't know if he was just feeling his Cheerios, and he did feel better today, and I went ahead and gave him the medicine to really make him feel good. Mm-hmm. And I will say he was really, really running, but he didn't like the flashes and stuff at the back end for some reason. I don't know why, but day one I kind of waited on the photographer, like the team was fixing to go, so I kind of stopped back to let her take her pictures. And when they went to flashing, he didn't like that, and it kind of from then on, that end of the arena was not good. So luckily Andrew turned them all a little closer to the front.
And Biscuit, you haven't been riding him as much as you used to, but in these situations, Biscuit is the numero uno still?
Oh, yeah, he's the go-to. He's a special horse, and then anytime I need to, step on the gas a little bit like a roping like this will be, it's nice to have him because he speeds it up for me.
Good job. And you have to get on a plane to the circuit finals?
Yeah, I really need to get going.
Okay, bye.
All right, thanks.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of The Score with Andrew Ward and Jake Long. They won $60,000, new Bill Fick F350s, and new Bloomer trailers. So they had an amazing weekend. I hope you can hear how excited they really were. I was the last one they talked to that day because they were rushed through a whole bunch of media interviews. So they were a little worn out. And like I said, Andrew was getting ready to get on a plane to fly straight to the Prairie Circuit Final. So he was busy. Second in the roping was Shane Phillip and Lane Mitchell for $37,000. Third was Caleb Driggers and Wesley Thorpe. They won $26,000. That roping paid the whole way down to eighth. The smallest check was $6,000. It paid lots of fast times, lots of rotations. It was a great roping. I think the whole thing of the event, just cash payout, was $845,000. They had a 10 and a 12, I believe, throughout the week. They had a golf tournament. They raised about $750,000 for Cody's charities. So it was a huge, huge event. There was a pro-am, and I hope you all enjoyed this abbreviated episode of The Score.